Oh, hello.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Let me
Hello.
set up the camera a bit better.
Wow. You look like you're in Rishikesh.
Yeah, you can believe, right? This is Hong Kong. It's so
I
beautiful.
know. I know. Hi, everyone who's joined. Feel free to say hi. And again, so where are you now? Are you at home, Master Senra?
I'm at home. Yeah, I just arrived home. I just arrived a few minutes before.
Okay.
15 minutes
I mean,
before, just finished off my classes and then just arrived. So the setup took a little longer time.
okay. Did
How
you
about
just
you?
teach? I'm sorry.
How about you? You're at home?
Yeah, we just got home. Well, I just got home. We were just having brunch.
Okay.
Adam, he's still out there. I think he
I see.
just
Okay.
joined. And then so I said, okay, I have to go home now. So, have a chat with Master Sarah. Are you having a coffee or are you have
I'm
water?
just
What are you drinking?
having, no, I'm just having some tea. Came back from home. It's good to have some tea. Cool down.
And I'm having coffee. Where did you teach just now?
Well, I usually teach mostly in Langham. So I finished teaching in Langham today. I'll be teaching usually on AST on Tuesdays. Apart from that, most of the days I'm teaching in Langham Place.
Okay.
How about you? Where did you finish teaching?
Um, well, this morning I taught in Causeway Bay at Five Elements, and then after
Okay.
that I had a private client in Victoria Park. So it
Okay.
was really, really hot though. So,
Yeah, it's getting hot. Now you can see the sun straight on my face.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's
I'm
good.
sure. I
It's a
mean,
nice weather.
compared to my background, yours is a lot more interesting.
Well, I was just thinking to make it more open, because enclosed for 8 hours inside a room, and usually in the
Yeah,
evenings I'll be spending time around nature, which is good.
right.
So I thought that why
So,
not just make the chat here?
of course, of course. Maybe next time I should do that in the park. So you
Yeah,
mentioned
maybe.
eight
Yeah,
hours. 8 hours.
yeah, yeah,
How
yeah.
many hours do you teach now? Now that the pure yoga is back, to business basically.
Um, well, still the same almost. I would say
Mm.
around 6 to 8 hours, depending on how busy the schedule would be, depending on the private classes. But
Right.
now you know that the number of classes which we are having on a daily basis has gone up a little bit because we
Mhm.
have limited number of students. So here is trying to accommodate more number of classes so that students can actually access more because booking
Yeah,
has been quite difficult.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so all of our
Um,
classes have gone a little bit up.
okay. I mean, for those I think who are not in Hong Kong, might not be aware of the situation in Hong Kong. The
Yeah,
virus, I think we're pretty good in terms of containing the virus, but having to shut down a lot of businesses, gyms, and yoga studios included, right?
yeah,
And now I think with Pure, when you guys back open, and then you will, and now each class will only have 7 people maximum, and
yeah.
so it's really
I
really
think
hard for people to book.
I think also for the government they have changed their policy a bit. It's like
Mm.
you can have 7 classes plus a teacher. I mean 7 students plus a teacher,
Yeah,
and it can be like 2 different groups. So you can do it with like 7 plus 1, and there can be a teacher's assistant, which can be one
right.
assistant, and then 7 more. So as long as the studio can have extra capacity of taking that many number of students, 15
Okay.
plus, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I think we should also do that at Five Elements. Hi,
Yeah,
Dora. Hello.
possibly.
Please. I think with Five Elements, we're still doing kind of like really abiding by the law. Huh. So
Yeah, yeah.
7 people per class. So yeah. But I mean, I think it's across Hong Kong. It's really really hard to book a class, not just yoga, but like any fitness classes.
Anything. Yeah, I guess so. Anything. And
Yeah,
it's been like, because everything has been shut off for so long and people just
yeah,
wants to bounce back into their usual activities. So yes, it's been challenging
of
for
course,
sure.
of course. Speaking of shut off, how were you during the last? How long have you been shut off now? Maybe 6, 7 weeks.
I think around 1.5 months. Yeah. Month and a
Yeah.
half.
And how are you doing during that period? In a nutshell.
I will, uh, well, financially not good.
Right,
And I don't really
right.
think that anybody in this profession was doing good either.
Yeah.
But overall, as per lifestyle is concerned, it was pretty good. It was nice to spend more time, quality time, I would say, doing my practice,
Yeah.
spending time with the kids. And now, since they so much got used to we staying at home, they are like, now when I go to work, they're like, you have to go to work? Why do you have to go to work today? And I say, because now things are getting back to normal. And then there was,
Yeah.
so the virus is gone, no more virus. You know, they don't have that concept. So now the
Yeah.
virus is still there, but it's not that bad. So you can still go back to work. So why you have to work? You can just stay home. I said that we have to work because I have to earn money to buy toys for you guys.
But they're not back to school yet, right?
No, the elder one, I think, is going to be going in middle of June. And the younger ones, not yet, because kindergarten, we don't have any news yet when it's going to be opening up.
Okay.
And the other one, it's going to be like, I think the primaries is about to open up around mid of next month. So that's when they start back again.
Right. And so, and you mentioned, you know, you're doing, staying at home a lot more. And I noticed that, you know, Bianca and you are doing a lot of classes at home.
Yeah, it's been like terribly busy doing, you know, just like when we start our day in the morning, like I like to do my practice in the morning.
Yeah.
But then when I am having the online classes, I have to wait for the online classes to finish off, because you might ask that, why don't you do your practice before the online class starts? To me, I try to build everything based on preference. And because the classes are the preferences, I want to actually finish off all my important work in the morning. Then my mind is a lot more free. And that's when it's more enjoyable to practice. The focus can be a lot deeper.
Right. But did you see yourself, did you even expect doing online classes? Because I don't think you did any online classes before.
No, I think it's a new trend now. Speaking of which, you would have noticed as well that previously I wasn't as active on the social medias. Like I wasn't really posting as much on the Instagram, although many of the experienced teachers from whom I had been inspired, they always continue saying that long term, if you are getting more into social media, it's always good, because when you are teaching outside, people knows you. But when you're not teaching outside, only teaching in Hong Kong, only that community of people knows you. A community of students knows you. And I totally resonate with that. Like the ones who are teaching internationally, they have got a great following base in social media. And in a way that is helpful, because it helps to spread that knowledge of yoga. And we can reach out to those teachers just because through their social media. If you go into Allo Moves, like the apps which we have, we see like most of the teachers in Allo Moves have got huge following base in social media. If you see their teaching, the teaching is standard, it's good. But however, it's not that like you're going to somebody's classes and you have never ever felt that great. Like we have great teachers in Hong Kong, we have great teachers in Asia, but the ones who are shining out there are the ones who are having a great social media backup. And I think they have worked hard to build that up, and all credit should go to them. So now, since this has become a kind of new trend of like I think online classes, connection through the students online, becomes something which has to be carried on for pretty long time, because we do not know how long this limitation of where we are in right now is going to stay. And also, it feels great, like when I get texts or messages whom I do not know. The student, quite often, like a few messages every day, I joined your class and I feel great. And that makes the teacher motivated to try doing more of that, because when I'm going into classes, I don't know, but probably I don't know about 5 elements now. But you know, Pure is so packed, right? And there is literally competition about who can get into booking the class. And because all the students, like my regular students, are all mainly my teacher training students, which are like big groups. And out of that 40, 45 students from each year accumulative, as like more than a 500 student, only 50 might be able to get in a particular class, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of lucky draw at that time too. So
Yeah.
it tends to happen that most of the students I connect to are the very regulars of mine. And I'm not
Yeah.
able to connect to the students whom I feel like I wish I can teach them because they want to learn. And I
Mm-hmm.
just want to have another platform. And
Mm-hmm.
if it's just in pure, that probably, again, that limitation would stay on. Also, I won't be able to max out my classes number for the groups because,
Yeah.
you know, the privates take on quite lots of time away. And
Yeah.
to balance that out, I'm already almost taking 150 classes a month averagely, which is quite a
Yeah.
lot as being a teacher, you know. So yeah, social media, this platform is very good and I'm enjoying
Yeah.
doing that. However, on a full day when I'm busy like today, I might not be able to have energy to do a online class, but I'll try my best to keep up at least one class a week online.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the whole aspect of how I'm thinking for this.
I mean, I don't know whether, I mean, are you allowed to film your class and just broadcast it online?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
yeah.
mean, as long as it is from my own social platform,
Yeah.
it's my personal, which is fine. But
Yeah.
we are not being asked not to do that, at
Yeah.
least knowing the circumstances right now. But
Mm-hmm.
everything gets settled down, I don't know how
Yeah.
things would be. But
Yeah.
yeah, even from Pure, like we are doing live classes every day, like 2 or 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
It has reduced down. But
Mm-hmm.
knowing that it's not just a Hong Kong community, but also a bigger community outside of Hong Kong, those are watching, it's always good to have them coming in and doing
Yeah.
the practice together.
Yeah. I mean, I remember the day before the closure of the gym, and then I was like, I decided to live stream my last 2 classes at Five Elements, and then I think
Yep.
one at Yoga Room as well. And
Yeah.
then so, I mean, administration, like the manager did not oppose to the idea, but then I think she said, okay, well, make sure it's only filming you, but not
Yep.
the students. I mean
Well,
that's
yes, because the student has to sign a
a
disclaimer
waiver or
that
something. Yeah,
yeah, that they are fine being shot on the camera, or else
yeah,
it can stir up things. Yeah.
yeah. And to my surprise, and I think it's different from I used to do maybe at the beginning of the closure. I started doing some live IG live of my own practice at home,
Yeah.
during which I do not give any instructions. I just do, okay, now down drop, right leg up, just that. But then when I did those 2 classes at Five Elements, and the feedback was really good because I was actually teaching a class. So I think there's a really good way to reach out to people who wanted to get to your very limited 50 max in your class. I mean, when we're back to normal, and to get a taste of your teaching as well.
Yeah, it certainly
Chris,
is.
yeah. So I just wanted to remind the viewer that if you have any questions for Master Samrat, or even myself, feel free to type it and then we can address
I just saw one question popping up.
Oh.
Adriana was asking, Master, is it a tea or a beer? No, it's a tea. I don't take beer. I enjoy taking wine, but I don't take beer. Too many calories, getting fat. and
Well,
I would usually first finish all my work, and then after this chat is over, I'll do some practice, and then after that, I'll see what I can drink, or I'll just free up myself.
Speaking of practice and getting fat, I noticed that you're working out with Gopal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else do you do in terms of like workout or fitness? I know there was a phase of you doing a lot of weight and like really big chest and shoulders. And do you still do that now?
Oh, Adriana, cheers with my tea.
Cheers. What are you drinking, Adriana? You can tell us.
Yeah.
So what are you working on now? Sorry.
I quite a lots of things actually. Quite a lots of things. Dance. Yeah, dance is one thing. Yeah, you're right, Josh.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. Josh, thank you for reminding me. I forgot to send that question to Master Sharon.
Yeah, so he sent me over some questions, and I told that, right, do expect that there will be some more questions I'll be bombarding you too with. And then he said, oh, yeah, sure. It's just like a chat. And I said, I would rather prefer you not send me the questions and just let it naturally flow. And this guy just went in and he deleted all the questions. I just had a flash of look and then he deleted all the questions. Say, okay, there you go, it's done. I was like, okay, fine. I do remember a few questions, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, coming back.
I'm not even looking at questions now.
Yeah, it should naturally flow anyway. But
Yeah.
you feel free to look at it. I would say I do weight training since I was like, I won't say I did weight training since I was 12 or 13. I used to do lots of freehand exercises, like body weight exercises, like push-ups, dips, pull-ups, squats. Until actually 18 years, I was just doing these, and I loved it. I loved it. After 18, I started to take weights. Many people say don't take weights because it makes you stiff, and then I always try. I believe that as long as you balance out what you're doing, your weights with your stretches, it's all fine, right?
Yeah.
And then from 18 onwards, I started to take weights. That gotten more and more when I was in Hong Kong because I could access a proper gym. Back in India, I wasn't having that privilege. Gyms were small. There were people queuing up. It wasn't easy. Yeah, so I still do weight training. I recently also like doing calisthenics, which I said like dips, pull-ups and stuff like that, body weight training, which actually helps my overall conditioning of the body in my asana practice as well. I love to play badminton, so I play badminton 2 to 3 times a week. Yeah, that's kind of very strong cardio for me, and I don't do it because it's for cardio, but I believe that that sportsmanship within you should stay on. Like even you get older, you should stay involved into certain things. Just like our students, they are practicing yoga, and partly that can be for their physical needs. And for me, yoga is not something which is for my physical need. It has gone surpassed that level already. So I take more of other sports to be like doing and staying active. To me, yoga would be more of a pilgrimage to walk in and just try to share of what I know, and being enjoying myself when I'm doing my practice, trying to enjoy myself when I'm sharing with my students. So yeah, these are the main things which I would do, and I would shorten the question of Joyce about dance. This was something which I used to do back in Planet Yoga. If you remember Planet Yoga,
Yes.
It closed down now. We had it like I worked there for 5 years, and there were some great dancing teachers. And my dance teacher is Master Jagan. He is now in Taiwan, and he was my roommate, and he used to encourage me to come over and join his dance classes. And I was absolutely terrible. I couldn't coordinate at all. I mean that back then, if I look at my videos, which I don't have many, but I remember myself looking into the mirror, I was like, it was so the feeling was so inferior in front of great dancers. I'm like, why am I even here? It feels like, what am I doing here? I shouldn't be. But I just mustered all my courage and I kept coming back to the classes. And then I started enjoying when I learned that art of coordination. And same for everything, right? If students come into the yoga class, the first couple of classes, they feel so difficult. And that is when they surpass that challenge, they start to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And nowadays, when I just had time, we have so much time, I just jump into do some dance. It's basically for my wife. She wants me to dance together with her, and she dances every single day. She would just turn on the Zumba videos, and she will be dancing. She is very disciplined in this. She will be dancing half an hour. And also she would be going for like 15 minutes core exercises. And that's intense. I don't join every day with her because once I finish off my classes, I'll be like, all right, let me do some yoga practice. I would keep the dance for later. I want to keep my practice on. But yeah, she dances every day, and she's loves dancing. So I would join with her sometime.
Yeah. Because when I saw, I mean, for those who haven't seen the videos, you should go to Master Shamra's IG, and then there's they're still there, right? You cannot delete
yeah, it's there in the IG. I didn't delete it. I mean that when
And I
you
mean,
want
and
to
I
do
was like,
something, you should do it. Don't regret doing it.
then you said, well, you dance like, nobody is watching. And then I remember the face expression that you had. I mean, it was just hilarious. I mean, it's just really, really fun to watch. And, I know you have a lighter side, but I don't think a lot of people know that you have that kind of side that, I think that's really great.
Uh, uh, well, I believe that when you do something, you should enjoy doing that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because then that's when you don't think too much. You just enjoy being there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't worry about who is watching, what comments you're getting. Just do it. And
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't really my idea to uh, post that on IG. She encouraged me, like, okay, just post it. You're not bad, just
Encouraged.
post it. Encouraged, yeah. She encouraged.
Encouraged. You have to say, hi,
Yeah.
Bianca.
Is she there?
I don't think so, but then she
Maybe
might
she
watch
is
it later.
downstairs. Yeah, man, she might. And yeah, she's pushing me to make a new dance video, which I said that all right, let's wait for a while. Again, when I'm having more free time, I'll join you up. She's ready.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to do a
Mm-hmm.
Bollywood dance, and she's ready. And I was like, okay, I still have 50% still to get into that dancing routine. Haven't
Right.
finished off yet, fully.
Right.
How about you? Do you dance?
Oh no, I mean, when I'm really drunk, I can dance like very freestyle. But whenever I try to dance, Adam will be like, "Okay, can you just stop? You're
Hey,
embarrassing."
Jennifer is watching. She's a good dancer, and
Uh-huh.
same as you. I see her dancing. Jennifer Chan.
Uh-huh.
She
Oh,
also
really?
doing your morning
Yeah, 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 yeah. I didn't
immersion,
know
right?
that. I should have asked her to
Yeah,
dance.
and she's a good dancer, and I have seen her drunken dance, and she is very natural. So you guys
Okay.
should be trying to dance when you're normal.
Uh, so apart from dance, what else did you do over that? I think we've all tried doing, yoga classes, teaching yoga classes online, taking classes, teaching classes, and you start, pick up dancing again. What else did you do during the last 6, 7 weeks? Something that you wouldn't normally do.
A lot, actually. I mean, every
Mm-hmm.
single thing I did was very different from what I do now. Like after 7 classes, 8 classes, I come back now, and just the time I sit down, um, the evening is gone. I was reading a lot. I
Mm-hmm.
was looking back at what I have done in my previous courses,
Mm-hmm.
trying to recap those informations and trying to put them in together for my future courses.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Playing more with my kids,
Mm-hmm.
taking them more around the town if that was on the weekend because we wanted to avoid the crowds.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these things were one of the. It was more of things which I had always thought about doing and never actually could do. Like I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to really do and never got the time to do.
Mm-hmm.
And those patterns which I have built up over time for the last couple of months, like a few weeks, I don't
Mm-hmm.
want them to go out from my routine, but it's kind of hard, and you have got to bring in that extra hour, and it's always a juggle between responsibility to give my
Mm-hmm.
student versus shall I spend that hour for my own self?
Mm-hmm.
Because it might just sound like, hey, come on, if you have got time, if you have got priorities in your mind, you can definitely do it. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I'm trying to really push them in. But when you push things in, the output is not as great.
Yeah.
Like if you think about teaching 7 or 8 classes and then come back and do your practice, obviously that's not going to be as great a practice versus
No.
when you're completely like 3 or 4 hours and then you come back and practice, right? It's going to be different motivation. The energy is different.
Yeah.
And my classes goes like edge to edge. Like I really try to get in, like say example, I start weekdays at 7 o'clock. I would finish up by 3 o'clock, and by the time I am home at 4, so I'll have to give time to my pets, to my kids. Then I do my practice, and by that time, it's like your energy is not the same anymore. And then if I'm taking in another 2 or 3 more classes, that's going to be like 7. And
Mm.
students also knows my pattern. They know that I don't take break. It's like 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, maybe a breakfast break. then my workout time for 45 minutes or an hour. So it just keeps going back and back. So I try to get things preferentially chopped down and try to follow them. But when you are having a full day, it's not easy. It's really not easy.
And
So
that's why I think this, COVID-19, it's a big wake-up call for not just yoga teachers, but a lot of people in different businesses, because it makes us rethink, okay, the way we do things, and I think this trend of bringing everything online into a more like a sustainable mode of running the business or running your classes, getting more people to know you, or maybe even doing online courses. I mean, I don't know how that would work out for you or for with Pure, and it's something that Adam's trying to kind of instill in, because I was always quite skeptical with online learning. It's like, and then now with all these 200-hour some of the 200-hour teacher trainings, I think I've seen them being put online, and I was like, yes, theory you can do online, anatomy you can do online, but practicum or like adjustment, how do you even do that on the 200 like online? I have no idea.
no, so well, it's very black and white, and I might be blunt with this.
Mm.
No, it's just a straight no for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to compromise with my students' quality because they have come out through my online yoga teacher training. I might as well want to postpone it.
Mm.
As you said, like anatomy and stuffs like that, you can study. You can
Yeah.
study. But the practical experience of how you practice teaching,
Yeah.
right? Practice teaching. Like you
Yeah.
need to have somebody practicing. Like, yeah, they can practice teaching and then they can send us a video and then we can try giving comments. But it isn't going to be firsthand, and it's not going to be that easy ever.
Right.
Adjustments and stuff, yeah, you can watch the videos and do it, but you're never going to get the right feedback. And even for online classes, like you might be doing the practice, but when the teacher isn't there around you, it's different, right?
Yeah.
We know that it's different, but something
Yeah.
is better than nothing. But when it comes to a teacher training, I would not really incline towards going for online teacher trainings. And if teachers are doing that, well, it's really their choice, and I don't know how they are able to manage that out. But I don't personally want to do that. I don't think that I would be, at least for me, it might be my limitation with all due regards to the teacher doing that. It might be my limitation, but I would say that it's a no-go for me.
Yeah, because I guess we in Hong Kong, or maybe also people in Taiwan, we're quite lucky in the way that, yes, the gyms are closed, but we're not in a complete lockdown. We're still allowed to go out, right? We can still go to a park and form small groups of
very
just
lucky,
gathering,
actually,
or
very lucky.
very, very lucky.
Yeah.
But
if you go to India, they're not even supposed to go down on the streets.
They cane people. They have it.
Yeah. So it's crazy.
Indian
so
style.
Yeah, we are lucky.
But
Indian way, right? Indian way, yes.
Indian, right? That's
Yeah.
one way.
It's only one way. I agree.
I've been to India enough to know that. But
yeah.
But the thing is, with those who do training, the 200-hour teacher trainings online, are those who are still in lockdown, like in America, in some of the countries in Europe. And so I guess they already have set the date, and so they decided to run it online. Or hey, there's no foreseeable future of traditional face-to-face learning methods, so might as well just modify the existing training into an online 200-hour teacher training, which I found, yes, some parts of it I understand, but then because the thing is, I guess part of being a yoga teacher is to be able to adjust and assist and give that hands-on the experience, because and that cannot be taught through the internet. So it's something I should learn how to do that.
Yeah, actually, I was talking to Bryony the other day. Bryony Smith.
Yeah.
and and she also have postponed her training in Koh Samui. She had
Yeah.
300 hour and she postponed
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah. I was
So
gonna go to that one.
yeah, and for me, my 200 was on April.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my 200 was in April, and then I had to postpone that to July.
Yeah.
And if the situation isn't so, my my trainings are July and
Mm-hmm.
August, and my advanced training is on November and January, with December being a break. That's a 300
Mm-hmm.
hours. So, but if we have to push it, the July one later, unfortunately, I hope not, then the whole
Mm-hmm.
situation is going to change again. I have to reschedule my 300 hours as well.
Mm. Yeah.
So
I mean,
let's see. No, but online is really a no-go for me.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
would
But
start.
I
I would
guess,
rather not.
yeah. Well, but I guess
Having said
starting.
that, just let
Mm-hmm.
me just give you a
Sure.
little pause. Sorry for that. So
Sure.
I when the lockdown wasn't happening that time, I
Mm-hmm.
was asked like many students. So for me, at that time, Pure said that you cannot use bolster, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot use partner yoga, so no adjustments, nothing. And I say immediately postpone the teacher training
Mm-hmm.
because they don't have a bolster. They have to stay 10 hours. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot help them adjust, and they do not learn the hands-on adjustment. Two things, very major things. I don't think that I would be able to do a successful teacher training.
Yeah.
Postpone it. I send a message to the group saying that how many of you inclined towards postponing because these are the limitations we have.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, 80% said postpone it,
Mm-hmm.
and then we postponed it to July. So that's what
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carry on. You were saying something. Sorry to interrupt.
I forgot what I wanted to say now. Yeah, so I guess, but then I think some of the elements can be put online, maybe, more like a how-to kind of videos rather than an actual teacher training. Because,
Yes.
a teacher training, if it's like I said earlier, if it's a theoretical teacher training, on the theory part, like philosophy or even meditation, that could be
Yeah.
even chanting, I
Yeah.
guess, that can be done online, but then the rest
Yeah.
would be really, really hard to translate without face to face.
Yeah. Everything which needs practical
Mm-hmm.
presence.
Yeah.
You're teaching somebody a trikonasana, and you have got to explain them bit by bit on different body types too, right? It's not
Mm-hmm.
just one
Yeah.
person's body, different because it looks differently, it behaves differently. Anything like that which needs presence at that moment on a
Mm-hmm.
practical knowledge basis cannot be incorporated online.
Mm-hmm.
Anything which is theoretical based, meditation, chants, sutras,
Yeah.
philosophy, all these are fine. It can be studied. And that is why we have so many online successful courses. They run good because they can actually encompass everything which is required.
Yeah.
But then the practical part, you would not see that
Yeah.
there are many trainings. Like, how would you do that? You won't be
Yeah. I
able
mean,
to do justice.
the other, I think 2 weeks ago, I saw an animal flow instructor training on, like, being advertised online, and I found that was really, really. I don't even know how they do this because it's such a movement-based discipline, and then you're
Mm-hmm.
doing an instructor course online with animal flow, and I
Mm.
was like, how do you even do that? But I guess they maybe I should actually take one to learn their trade secret.
Yeah, I
So
mean that you can always learn, but then there will still be some limitation. It's never going to
yeah,
be as authentic. You can
yeah,
try your best.
yeah,
We can try making every ends meet to the best of the possibility, but again, whether or not one wants to compromise with the standard of the training, which
right,
which uh, which to me would be a bit difficult because if you are having 45 or 50 students in the training, it's hard to handle. It's
yeah,
extremely hard to handle. And that's when you have got to set up like very stern boundaries that you have got to do
mm-hmm.
these in order to get a certification. So that is why uh, students say my trainings are tough, and it's meant to be so because the trainings are full, and I want to incorporate everything to that point that they are really learning when they get the graduation. They don't have any loopholes. So they're like, okay, I did not learn the hands-on well. I didn't learn the teaching components very well. I don't know the yoga philosophy. All these ends should be meeting, and which with one of them not meeting, to me, I would not be very satisfied training. Talking of which, your mentorship.
Yes.
I think it has really added feather on the cap for the students those who have graduated from my trainings, and I really highly recommend that. And there are so many good teachers. Like nowadays, they are doing lots of classes. Like they have refined to be a teacher from teacher training, and then they have got their mentorship, and now they are teaching. Great. And I think we need more mentorship program like that. I mean, for myself, after the 200, after the 200, like we do teaching practice every single day, morning 1 hour, evening 1 hour. We focus a lot on the teaching and keep refining that. So by the end of the training, everybody knows how to talk. Everybody's have the good communication skill. But then those people, those who wants to really be teacher, after that, they want to get that revision done, and which your mentorship offers. And my teacher training of 300 hours is every other year, and it's expensive. And people might be able to get in, they might not be able to get in, but of course we refine that further. But that mentorship program is really great for especially the students, those who I see teaching. So keep that part up, and maybe you should do more of that.
Thank you. So I think people who have been commenting in our chat, like Adriana, Jennifer, Joyce, Chris, who else? Many of them have taken the mentorship workshop, and to be honest, like the workshop was basically founded by myself actually, and also Claudia. Do you remember Claudia Whitney? Were you here in Hong Kong?
Yep, I remember.
And then she left after we started for a year. And really just to we started it out of okay, well, we were both Lululemon ambassadors at the time, and we realized there's a lot of yoga teachers in Hong Kong not knowing they got their 200-hour teacher trainings. Most of them were great. Some of them kind of like, okay, now what? We're not quite sure what to do. And we decided to pull this together, pull our efforts together to offer some of our tips, on adjustments, on, giving feedback on the teaching, and then also the business of yoga. Because I think with the adjustments, and actually more valuable to that is the teaching. So we asked them to teach in a whole group, and then in front of a small group. There was so much time spent on giving feedback to each other, and then I give them feedback as well. And I'm sure in your teacher training you do give a lot of feedback, and I know that for some other yoga teacher trainings in the market, not just Hong Kong, they actually focus a lot on the practice, yoga practice itself, but not so much on teaching bits. So they don't have the confidence. So can I ask them to stand out in front of 20, 25 people? Like, I have actually not taught this many people before. And then so they're like, well, this is the reality. You have to present yourself in this many people. And then also the business of yoga is, because a lot of them would be freelancing at first. They don't know how to package themselves. They don't know how to and set themselves up. So that's how we started. And then 5 years later, this is our 6 years now, and we have over 100 graduates, and teaching everywhere in Hong Kong and actually some other parts of the world. So it's been really good. You've been so kind to introduce it to your graduates as well. And
well, I love the quality which they bring out after that, and that's why I keep recommending, because I remember now I don't think your mentorship needs my help, but a few years before when you asked me to, I was happy to help, and I felt great about the students' quality coming out from the mentorship. I was like, okay, good. I do recommend highly that, see, after this 200 hours are done, you can always send me over videos and I can check how you're teaching. But if you really want to become a teacher and continue this journey, because 200 hours is over, 200 hours will give you limited supply of whatever we can offer.
Yeah.
You got your voice, you know the skill, but to refine this, you have got to carry on. You have two
Yeah.
options. One is you keep doing your self practice, find out people, find out friends, keep asking them to help you out with the feedback, or continue joining mentorship program. Victor has a great one. Go for that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so.
it is indeed true. And
Yeah.
I am a very strong believer in upgrading knowledge being yoga teachers.
Mm.
You know, one of the questions I read through today you sent before you took all the deleted the questions is that my messages to yoga teachers.
Mm.
Doesn't matter you're a senior or junior or you are the best teacher of the world. Don't Doesn't really matter. Keep up your knowledge. Keep
Yes.
upgrading yourself. Keep upgrading. Keep learning. If you think that yoga, you have done enough courses, do something which is related to yoga, which can actually help your knowledge to assist your students.
Mm.
And this is where one part it lags behind to me, that I do not see many senior teachers doing trainings or courses.
Mm.
I don't see that. I mean, it might not be evident because they don't put out on social media. I am not sure of that, but whichever senior teachers I speak with,
Yeah.
I never hear about them saying that, oh, I went to this training and it went great. And I would really
Yeah.
like to hear that the senior teachers, especially because the juniors, they don't have confidence.
Yeah.
They will do trainings. They are
Yeah.
new. They will do trainings. But the seniors somehow have that feeling like, I am popular.
Many.
I think I can do lots of stuff. I can do crazy
Mm.
postures.
Mm.
I know most of the thing. I'm teaching teacher training, so I know most of the thing, or at least I know my game of where I am. But hey, come on, like if you do not upgrade yourself, how would you continue offering more and more to the students because they are also getting upgraded, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
6 years before, what Victor you were, now you're upgraded. But now, if I am not upgrading myself, the 6 years, you're already in the same level or even higher than me,
Mm.
right? So
Yeah.
maintain that level of seniority as you're getting senior.
Yeah.
And
And
this
I
is where
think
something, go on.
some yeah, after you.
This is where I think somewhere teachers needs to step up.
Yeah.
Um,
And
mostly I would say Indian teachers.
yeah.
Indian teachers. They really need to think about taking one step ahead and
Mm.
get their get their knowledge enhanced by taking different courses. You have to spend money. Like I mean that if you think that I probably want to save money and this is going to cost 50,000 Hong
Mm.
Kong dollar. Well, you're earning and it's an investment for a long period of time.
Exactly.
And you have got to keep on upgrading yourself. Many,
Yeah.
many Western teachers does the trainings. Many of them do, many of them don't, but I hardly see much of Indian teachers doing this. And it's to my all brothers, I just want to say that, come on, it's you cannot just bank on your flexibility all your life. You need to learn more. Just
Yeah.
keep upgrading, do some courses. One of the reason I joined Pure Yoga back then, which was 10 years before, is that they always used to invite international teachers, and it was so luring for me. I was like, wow, I can do all of their classes. I want to really know what they teach. I can become
Mm.
as good, or at least somewhere close to them, or I know what exactly they're doing, so I can bring in more of materials into my teaching. So that hunger always have been there inside me. And even now, I want to keep doing one training every year.
Right.
If time permits, I always go to at least one training every year. I keep on working
Right.
on that. You can even learn from a junior teacher. You can even
Exactly.
learn from a junior teacher when you're going into their class and you feel like, wow, okay, that is something which is special. I want to get that into
Exactly.
my class. That is how you
Like,
share.
and I think, and I really resonate with your point because yes, we have attained a certain level of practice or teaching, and we've taught for so long, and there's always something new to learn. And I think somewhere down the line, with some teachers, they've taught for this long, and they think, oh, I've already know everything there is to know. That's not true because yoga has been around for 5,000 years, so you can't just learn that in one lifetime, right? And then the
It's
other
not, yeah.
thing is, and if you think, okay, you have learned everything there is to know in yoga, then learn something different. doing calisthenics, doing other physical or other disciplines. Because what I keep telling my students is that your clients are most likely not yoga teachers or those who take a lot of yoga classes. So you need to know what they're doing outside of yoga. And I find it, so I give you an example. I find it really, really interesting for yoga teachers who give yoga for runner classes and they don't run themselves. It's like, wait a minute. Yes, you might know how to stretch, but what do you know about running? Okay? What
You
do you
don't have
know
that
about
practical
running
experience on your
injuries?
body. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. I teach that because I run. And yes, I have injured my right knee as a result. But at least I know how to adjust and I know how to kind of like do things differently in my own practice, in my running. But I found that really, really, to put it very politely, very interesting that someone will teach yoga for running or for runners, but you don't run yourself.
Mm.
So maybe take up running, take up something different, take an office job so you know how it feels to be sitting at an office desk for
Exactly.
8 hours.
One of my students was just mentioning me the other day. She was in my ATT 300 hour, and then
Mm-hmm.
she said that she's also learning traditional Chinese medicine. I said, great, wow, that's something which I really want to learn one day. And it really inspired me, like, wow, she's a full-time yoga teacher and she is still learning Chinese medicine every week, like a couple of times per week. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. So yeah, continue learning something, like it never ends. When you stop learning, your life comes to an end. You
Exactly.
finish off, like you get saturated here.
Yeah. And that's the
And
secret to staying down.
yeah, and also one remains receptive only when keeps learning. One remains receptive only when one keeps learning. Because if you haven't, or if you think that you already know much, then your receptivity is closed, right?
Yeah.
Like it's okay. I know this. I know this. My receptivity is ended. So
Yeah.
whenever you are in a communication with another person, you always would be thinking the same way. I know this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we start thinking of ourselves as a very tiny aspects of the entire universe, you're like, okay, it's an ocean and we are just like a tiny particle. Just keep embracing whatever comes to us. Just keep learning.
Yeah. That's good. That's beautiful. So what are you doing for the rest of the day?
I'm going to catch up some practice after this
Okay.
and maybe some light practice. Let's see.
Yeah.
Maybe entertain my kids for a while
Yeah.
and then we'll see how things goes on. Maybe
Okay.
we'll
Are you
read
gonna
some book,
IG
watch some
live?
movie.
Are you gonna
Sorry again?
IG live your? Are you going to IG live your practice?
No, no. Practice to me is a very personal thing, Like even I would when you are practicing with people around you, you become a little bit uh, skeptical about what's going on, what are people's comment on your practice going to be, and that's one reason why I practice. When I practice, I really like to practice, and when I rest, I mean when
Yeah.
I'm teaching, I would just focus on teaching. In all two ways, communication is better. I can also go and check what's happening on with the students,
Right.
and when I practice, I just enjoy doing the practice rather than breathing heavily and practicing at the same time.
Right.
But yeah, now is a trend. We have to change that trend a little bit. What is my light practice? My light
Yeah.
practice would be some
30
um,
handstands.
no. I'm recently having some tendon issues on my left side of the pecs, so I'm not able to do a lots of stuffs for that.
Yeah.
So
A
maybe
light
a
practice.
few handstands, yeah, maybe some variations of arm balances, and end up with some splits, some restorative back bend, some long forward bend. That's all. That's my light practice going to be like 45 minutes approximately.
Yeah. Anyone else has any question for us?
Yeah,
Now's
we
the
are going to
time.
cut off soon. Yeah.
Okay. You can always send us a message and I can, we can. Oh, okay. Teaching online is hard in my opinion. Moving and teaching makes the teacher huffing and puffing. Oh,
Yeah, best example.
yeah. Because
He,
that's
yeah,
actually, go on.
I was watching Victor teaching online, and then he was like, yeah, and he was doing those flips. So one more time, flip, and then he flipped back, and you look at the camera and he's sweating, and literally whenever I'm looking at my YouTube videos and checking on like how I'm teaching, I'm like, now we are gonna do this pose, okay? Take 2 deep breaths. And those 2 deep breaths are really for me because
Yeah,
if I'm breathing that heavy, it's so much difficult to hold the pose. Yeah, so yeah, it's challenging. It's challenging.
great.
And
All right.
yeah, tomorrow I'm teaching an online class.
Okay.
10 o'clock. It's an in class, like it's in pure
Mm.
in class online for level 2 again, 10 to 11. It's going to be in IG and also it's going to be on Pure's Facebook. And I will be later on putting on together in my YouTube channel.
Excellent. So if you're not following Master Sam Rex, this is the time so you can stay connected with him. And any new plans that we, apart from the teacher training, that we should know about? One
Say
last
that
thing.
again, sorry.
Any new plans after, like, oh yeah, any new plans that we should know about apart from the teacher training? Any retreat coming up, or we don't know yet?
Yeah, retreat is due on September, but again, I don't know if the existing teacher training on July if it postpones, then probably I need to cancel, or well, I can't cancel because it's already been paid. We're going to Samahita, but then it might be postponed to the next year. But yeah, I'm
Okay.
really looking forward for a great batch of students for my 300 hour because
Yeah.
I do it once in 2 years and it's so much fun. You know, it's so much fun to teach teachers because
Yeah.
you connect from the same energy.
Yeah.
Like to me, the 300 hour was a great training altogether. Some of you were there, and it's so much fun and so much good to share about stuffs. When you're doing 200, you have got to really lower down and expect that they know nothing, and then you bring out stuffs, and then they still are in doubts. But when you're communicating with teachers, it just resonates very naturally.
Excellent.
And I would invite you to drop by in the 300-hour teacher training sometime.
I would love to.
It's in schedule on
really
November. Come over, share some of your thoughts about the practice of what you do, and everything else. Everything else.
Thank you. I'll be very honored to. Thank you.
Need to do more singing and dancing in 300 hours. She's saying, yeah, we'll do more. I'll call you, Adriana. She is a very good guitar player. So last time we had some kirtans, some satsangas. Arthur was singing together with Adriana, and we have some in YouTube uploaded. Check them out, guys. If you like chanting, those are great.
Excellent. All right. Thank you so much for your time, Master Sam Rex. It was really great to catch up.
It's a great pleasure, and I hope that we can catch up more often during this period, especially. Good to always share, and maybe we can have more topics to talk upon. So if you guys have questions, send them over, because when we chat, we are chatting basically based on our lifestyle of what's going on, what inspires us. But if you have got yoga related question, it's going to be great, because you guys have so many questions when you're in teacher training, and if you're having questions over in our chats, that's when it's the right platform to answer, so everybody else gets to know that, and it also becomes more informative chat and not just like a chatting chat, right?
I agree. All right.
So thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Hope to see you guys soon in class. Thank you, Victor. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.